On an island forged in fire and shrouded in ash, one king reigned supreme. Not a king of men, but a monarch of scale and claw, a mighty Komodo dragon. His territory was the scorched earth, the jagged volcanic rock, and the steaming fissures that crisscrossed the land. For generations, his line had ruled this primordial kingdom, their dominance as absolute as the volcano that slept at its heart. He was a creature of immense power, his armored hide a mosaic of obsidian and earth, his forked tongue tasting the sulfurous air. Every creature on the island, from the smallest insect to the largest bird, knew his scent, his shadow, and the heavy, deliberate tread of his feet. He was the apex predator, the undisputed master of this volatile paradise. But one night, the ground began to tremble. It wasn't the familiar, gentle shudder of the earth settling. This was a deep, guttural growl that resonated from the very core of the island. The great volcano, the silent giant that had shaped this land, was stirring from its long slumber. The sky, once a canvas of stars, was blotted out by a thick, churning plume of black smoke. A fearful silence fell over the island, the usual nighttime symphony of cicadas and geckos replaced by a tense, waiting stillness. The Komodo king lifted his head, his ancient eyes fixed on the glowing peak. He sensed a change, a disturbance not of the earth, but asterisk from asterisk the earth anew. Terrifying power was about to be unleashed. The volcano's peak split open, not with an eruption of ash and rock, but with a blinding river of pure, molten lava. It flowed down the slopes like a fiery waterfall, a liquid sun that consumed everything it touched. And from the heart of this incandescent torrent, something moved. It was a creature of nightmare and legend, a serpent born of the planet's molten core. Its body was a writhing ribbon of fire, its scales shimmering like superheated obsidian. Eyes of white-hot magma scanned the land, and where its gaze fell, trees and rock alike burst into flames. This was the lava serpent, an elemental force of destruction, and it had come to claim the island as its own burning domain. The serpent slithered down the mountainside, its passage leaving a trail of scorched earth and glassy, melted rock. The air crackled with intense heat, shimmering in waves around its colossal form. The island's inhabitants fled in terror, a desperate exodus from the all-consuming fire. But the Komodo dragon did not flee. This was his kingdom, his birthright. He stood his ground, a silhouette of defiance against the approaching inferno. He let out a low, guttural roar, a challenge that echoed across the trembling landscape. It was a declaration. This island had a king, and he would not surrender his throne without a fight. The clash was inevitable. The lava serpent, a being of pure heat and relentless destruction, met the Komodo king, a creature of flesh, bone, and unyielding will. The serpent lunged, its maw opening to reveal a throat of swirling magma. It spat a torrent of liquid fire, a searing jet that could melt stone, but the king was fast. He dodged, the blast scorching the ground where he'd stood moments before. The heat was immense, a physical blow that threatened to cook him inside his own scales. He could feel his tough hide begin to blister and crack under the sheer radiant energy. He knew a direct confrontation was suicide. The serpent was an embodiment of the volcano itself, a force of nature he could not overpower. But he was a master of this land. He knew every cave, every crevice, every unstable rock formation. His intelligence, honed by countless hunts and territorial battles, was his greatest weapon. He had to outthink the fire, not just outfight it. He turned and ran, not in retreat, but with purpose. He led the serpent on a chase through a maze of volcanic vents, the ground steaming and hissing around them. The serpent, driven by a primal rage, followed blindly. It crashed through rock formations and tore chasms in the earth, its fiery body illuminating the dark, narrow canyons. The Komodo king scrambled up a steep, crumbling cliff face. His claws found purchase in the volcanic rock, his powerful legs propelling him upward. The heat from the serpent below was relentless, turning his dark scales a dull, glowing red. He was being slow-cooked, but he pushed on, pain fueling his determination. He reached the top and looked down. The serpent was trying to follow, its massive form struggling to navigate the tight passage. This was his chance, The king used his powerful tail to dislodge a cascade of loose boulders. They tumbled down a rockslide of massive stones, crashing onto the serpent's fiery body. The creature roared in pain and fury, its molten form momentarily disrupted by the impact. It gave the king precious seconds. He raced along the ridge, his mind racing faster. He recalled an old, unstable magma tunnel nearby, a hollow tube left by a long-dead lava flow. It was a death trap, a place where the ground was thin and treacherous. It was perfect. He led the serpent towards the entrance of the tunnel. The ground here was dangerously unstable, vibrating with the pressure from the volcano's awakening. He could feel the hollowness beneath his feet. He ran across, his lighter weight just barely supported by the fragile crust. The lava serpent, massive and heavy, charged in after him. As its colossal weight fell upon the tunnel's roof, the ground groaned, then fractured. With a deafening crack, the earth gave way. The lava serpent plunged into the magma chamber below, swallowed by the very element from which it was born. But the collapse triggered a chain reaction. The release of pressure from the chamber below caused a massive, final explosion. The entire heart of the island erupted in a cataclysmic blast, a column of fire and rock that reached for the heavens. The Komodo king was thrown by the shockwave, caught in the storm of ash and embers. The world became a maelstrom of heat, noise, and chaos. The island was being unmade and remade in a single, violent instant. The fiery rain turned the landscape into a solid sheet of cooling obsidian, freezing the moment of destruction in stone. Silence returned, the smoke began to clear, revealing a new island, a stark, black monument of volcanic glass. Nothing stirred. It seemed that all life had been extinguished, both king and challenger consumed by the final, fiery apocalypse. But then a flicker of movement. From a pile of cooling ash and rock, a figure began to stir. Slowly, painfully, the Komodo dragon rose. His scales were charred and blackened, but unbroken. His body was scarred, but his spirit was forged anew in the crucible of the volcano. He stood atop the highest peak of his stone kingdom, the residual heat from the ground causing a crown of steam and shimmering air to form around his head. The lava serpent was gone, returned to the earth. The island was transformed, but it was still his. From the ashes, the king had risen, no longer just a ruler of scorched earth, but a monarch crowned in fire. Thank you so much for watching this epic tale. If you enjoyed this journey into a world of myth and might, please hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell for more incredible stories. We'll see you in the next one.